I'm Chaplain Captain Joshua Ellis, and I'm 1/6 Infantry's Battalion Chaplain. We have not been in a bubble, and we have grown while we have been here, and there have been changes that have come as we've been sitting here in Kuwait and doing training and different things. We've become better soldiers, hopefully better people in general. And we didn't leave our homes in a vacuum either. They've been growing, they've been changing. There's going to be things that are different when we come home, and sometimes our expectations are that things will be exactly as we left it, even though we have changed and have grown. And that can bring conflict in any relationship. When you get home, your dog may not recognize you. It may take a little while. The kids may be scared, and depending on how young they are, hopefully, they're at a certain age that they're going to remember you. Hopefully you've been communicating while you've been here. But sometimes that can be hard. Sometimes it can be hard because of, well, we know the network here is not always the best in Kuwait. We have challenges with that. So maybe you haven't been able to communicate with your family every day, maybe not even every week. Some people have been in places where communication wasn't possible. So you haven't been able to see those changes as they've happened. And they've happened gradually, and they've been not as easy to notice for your family, but they're going to notice changes in you. You'll notice the changes in them, and that might be uncomfortable for everyone that's involved. You gotta remember to go into this and going home with an open mind and slowly, gradually getting into things, because when we've got differing expectations, there can be conflict that can come about. And that's what we don't want to happen. If we go into this and getting home expecting change and expecting things to be different, it's a little easier to take that and go slow as we're coming back together with our families. As when we're coming to a different unit, when we PCS, or maybe when we've come into our first unit, we don't come in expecting we know everything. We expect to receive that battle rhythm. We expect to find out how things run and adapt to that. We need to do that with our home environments as well. We need to come in and recognize that our spouse has been in charge of the kids and everything the whole time we've been gone, and come into it with those expectations and expecting to find out how are things running now, what rules have changed, and coming into it with that mindset of, I'm going to need to change a little bit too here, and there's going to need to be some compromise. There may be some rule changes that we don't like, some routines that we don't care for, and we think there's a better way to do it. We need to, with an open mind, communicate with our partner and our children about these things. And if there's change, it needs to be done together, not apart from them and just coming in. We're not coming in like a dictator and saying, hey, no, I don't like this. We're going to change this. This changes now. We need to come in and say, okay, I see that things have changed, and this is what I'm seeing. Can we change it a little here and a little there? I think that would help to keep from having some conflicts. Every family is different. Every family enjoys doing different things. Maybe some things outdoors. I know my kids, they got a trampoline while I was gone, and they've been loving that thing, and they've been telling me, Daddy, we can't wait till you get back, and we're gonna jump on the trampoline together. And I know that's one of the things that they want to do. I think finding out what your family would like to do when you come home is a good idea. Having those one-on-one times like you did before you left. I know before I left, I went and spent time individually with each one of my children, and then with my spouse, of course, before I left. Find out, what would you like to do now that I'm home? And do those things to kind of get your feet wet and start coming back together. You're going from not being around for 6 months to now you're going to be home for 2 weeks, and you can't really go anywhere. that's going to be could be fairly traumatic for some people. However, still taking things slowly. If conflict's beginning to build up, take a break. Step back a little bit. Let your partner know, hey, I need to take a break for a minute because I'm getting stressed, I'm getting frustrated. Let's get back to this. It's important to me to continue the conversation. However, let's step back for a minute. Let me take a breath, and then we can come together when we're both ready and talk about it. So it's for some families, they're going to be able to jump in, and it's going to be like you never left hardly at all. The communication's just been able to continue. Some families, it's going to be a little bit harder when all of a sudden you're home for the next 2 weeks. But just take it as slow as needs to be. If the conflict starts to arise, those frustrations and anger come up, make sure you're communicating with your partner and saying, hey, let's hold back. Give me a timeout for a minute, and then we'll come back at this. There's some great resources. Military One Source is a great resource where you can find somebody off post that will work with TRICARE and that you can do some counseling with, and they help you out with your communication. There's also MFLAC on post that works with our brigade, and you can reach out to them. They'll meet you anywhere as well. There's also, of course, the chaplains. The chaplains, we're helpful and we're glad to help out. We'd be happy to sit down with anybody that would like to come to us and talk to us about the communication and help them out with those things as well.